So I am going to need to replace the power steering pump on my Chevy Trailblazer, but fortunately I have a spare motor in storage that still has the power steering pump connected to it. So I'm gonna remove it off of that and clean it up and replace the broken one on the Chevy Trailblazer that I'm driving.
Why so serious?
Now that we're back from getting the power steering pump from storage, this is how it looks. It may not look immaculate, but it's in way better condition than the one that's in it. The one that's in it, if you grab the tank and you move it, like if you go like this, it's so loose. You can see it moving from the engine bay right here, and this part right here, where it connects to the pump itself. You go like this and you can see it moving around. So that's where I believe it's leaking. So as you can tell, that there's two parts where this is connected. It sits in the motor like this. If you're standing on the passenger side and looking in the engine bay in, it sits in the motor like this. So you're gonna have this one hose here connected to it, and then you're gonna have this hard line right here connected to it. But I'm gonna leave these connected to it so I can throw some degreaser on it and clean it up a bit. Here we have our purple stuff, super clean. All right, so let's go over here. Well, let me grab a brush. Where's the brush? Only one I can grab. Give her a couple pumps. Grease this sucker. Might as well clean it up. There's no reason why you should just put a dirty part into your car if there's a possibility of cleaning it, at least a little bit. like brand new. So now I'll just air dry this, or I'll use my compressor, blow it off, and then let it dry for a little bit, and then replace it. I'll put this here. Now we remove the old one and replace it with the used one. But before I put this on, I'm gonna wipe it down with a cloth. But I'm gonna remove the one in the truck first. All right. Step one, we are going to loosen up the belt tensioner and remove the tension on the belt here, take it off of the pulley. Loosened up. Let's see if I can just leave this bar here propped against this to make it easier to put it back on. But as you can see, this is what I was talking about. And you can move it, and I can see that there's a clip, metal clip missing, that holds this onto here. It keeps these two nice and tight and secure. One of these metal clips here that keeps the plastic pressed up against the pump itself. So let me go ahead and disconnect the pump. There's going to be 3 bolts that you have to take off behind the hole of this. You can see one right there. There's one there, one in the bottom around here, and one up here. So it's easier to leave the bolts loose, hand tight, and get to the bottom metal line, or the bottom hard line from the bottom here. As you can see, boom, easy to disconnect it from here. And it seems like the same thing with the hose up there with the clamp, but the hardest part about that is getting the hose clamp down the holes in order to wiggle the holes out of the way. But as you can see, it's definitely easier doing it from down here from the wheel well, because I got this now moving. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this. I'm going to take that hose clamp, bring it down, and remove that hose, and then I'll get back to the video. Okay, so it does make it easier to take the air box out along with the hose, because then you get the elbow room to come around here, put your vice grips on the clamp, and I'll pull down the hose. And leaving the screw on there to keep the power steering pump solid while you're taking the lower bolt hard line off. You see there? And then you have to just twist and wiggle up this way. So now I gotta remove the hard line that's still connected here, and take this hose and the hose clamp off, which is in better condition, so I might just use that one. But take this hose off and the hard line, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this sucker on. There we go. There it is. Yeah. There we go. After a little maneuvering, you saw how long that took. I got it in place. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put these bolts in to keep this in place, and start putting those hoses on. I'm gonna put the one hose with the clamp on from down here, and I will put the hard line from behind the wheel well back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. There you go. All connected. Three bolts over here are tightened. Hard line I have tightened and sort of wiped down. A hose on with the new hose clamp, and it seems solid. Now this tank is sitting where it's supposed to sit, right here, not moving. Before, the other tank was kind of tilted over to this side, so hopefully that's what was causing my power steering leak. So now I'm going to put the air box back on, fill this up with some power steering fluid, and see what happens. See some of the air bubbles coming out. But I'm gonna turn the wheel a few times, and don't drop your cap. a few times. Okay, let's check her again. Now that we know the fluid is in the lines, let's turn it off and make sure she's topped off. I cycled the wheel a few times back and forth. Kind of have a ton of tiny little air bubbles, but over time it'll go away. Let's see where our fluid level is at. Our level is right on the cold mark, so we're good. It's kind of sketchy, but let's see how that works out. So let's clean up our mess so as we don't think this thing has a new leak or anything like that. And we should call that good. Okay, no leaks here, no leaks there. We are good. So I'm gonna go ahead and call that done. If it turns out not to have been the power steering pump, I'll go ahead and make another video, but it could have been that canister that was connected to the pump, because it was, as you can see, it was off. So I'll be driving this around for a while, letting the engine warm up, letting the fluids warm up, and hopefully potentially there's no leak, and then we can move on to the next thing. So this is the end of this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Why so serious?
You gonna fix the car?